Hi, I just wanted to make a short video and tell you about 5 of the 18 principles that you should follow, or you should, keep attention on when you're trying to create suggestions, whether you use them for yourself, self-hypnosis, or you're working with other people. Why 18? Well, I've been doing a study where I found that actually are about 18 principles that you need to pay attention to create powerful, effective suggestions. So the 5 ones that I want to talk about right now are the following. 1, you have to keep it clear. So your unconscious mind doesn't have to think or try to understand what you're saying, but actually you should make it very, very clear for your unconscious mind. What is it that you actually are talking about? So the way I explain this usually when I teach is this. There's one thing to talk about direction, and there's another thing to talk about destination. So direction is like, I want to go that way, or I want to go north. Destination is I want to go to, I don't know, fifth and second corner in New York, first floor, second door to the left. I don't know, let's just say that. Or I want to go to Paris, Rue d'Avignon, number 5, building number 23, stair entrance number 5, fifth floor, door number 37. That is a destination. Basically, it's what you give to a postal, you write on a post, on an email, on a postcard, not email, on a postcard to send them the letter. If you just say, send this to Paris, it's not gonna get there. So be very, very clear when you tell your unconscious mind what you want. What is a good example here? Let's say instead of saying, I wanna be happy, is I have a very clear idea of what that is like, what that looks like. So in order for you to gain clarity, you have to think in your mind, is that measurable in some way, in any way? Can I measure the outcome that I want to say? If I want to say, I want to be slimmer, like how many kilos? Or I want to be fitter, what does fit mean? So always ask yourself the question, what does that mean? How can I measure that? Or what is my representation of that? If you don't have a clear representation, then you won't have a clear resolution. You won't have a clear result. So you have to have a clear representation, direction versus destination, generalization versus precision. So that's very, very important. Rule number 1. Second, of course, you have to keep it personal. It's about you yourself connecting to yourself. So when you say, when you want to achieve something, it's rather you talking to your unconscious mind and telling your unconscious mind what you want. So it has to be personal. You can say, I want Mary to love me, but Mary is not you. Mary is Mary, so you cannot control her unconscious mind. You can only deal with your own. So you have to keep it personal. It's you about you. So what can you do with yourself for yourself? Third, you have to be talking in the present moment, because at the level of the unconscious mind, you don't have past or future, you only have now. So if you say, I will be, or it will happen, or I will have, or I'm wishing to have something, that's not going to work, because the unconscious mind only works if you give it affirmations like right now, here, now, I am X, or I have that. And by the way, parenthesis here, we usually, when we talk about things that we want to have or be, no, let me change that. When we talk about working with the unconscious mind, there are only 2 things actually that people usually want: to be something or to have something. All the others are not as powerful. And if you say, I want X, Y, Z, wanting doesn't mean you're getting. But saying I have or I am XYZ, that would lead you to actually achieving that goal. So always, this would be, let's say, a 4th principle, always do suggestions in the form of being or having. So we have being and having, we have present, right? Present time, present tense. We have personal, we have clarity, and also we have to have it in positive. There is something called the called Farsing, which basically says the unconscious mind does not process negation. In truth, it does process negation, but the way it does that, it's a very technical way. I don't want to go into that, but just keep that in mind. Your mind, your brain, your unconscious mind will not process negation. So if rather for you saying, I don't want to be unhappy anymore, say to your unconscious mind, I want to be happy. rather than saying, I don't want to have this problem anymore, rather say to your unconscious mind, I want to have this outcome. Because whatever you don't want to, you actually are forcing your mind to look into that. And whatever you're forcing your mind to look at, that is what your unconscious mind will give you. So if you say, I don't want to suffer, I don't want to be poor anymore, I don't want to have poor relationships, I don't want to be on the streets anymore, I don't want to be having lack of confidence, I don't want, basically that's exactly what you're telling your unconscious mind to give you. Suffering, not enough money, poor relationship, and so on and so forth. So rather than focusing on lack, focus on having, on achieving, on what you actually are wanting to have, right? So instead of, no matter how deep in the hole you are, ditch the whining and complaining, ditch the I don't want to, and focus on this is how I want to be. So if you would want to be happier, okay, first of all, you have to make that very clear in your mind. And what I mean clear, not just say I want to be happy. Say I am happy because XYZ, I am like this, I have this or that or the other, and have a very clear representation in your mind of what that happy looks like and what that happy feels like, right? So these are the five principles that I want to present to you in this video, and in a future video I'll present you some other principles and criteria that you need to follow in order for you to have success in communicating with your unconscious mind, in programming your unconscious mind, or if you work with other clients, in helping them achieve the results that you want. Thank you so much for watching. Click the link below and sign up, subscribe, get notifications, wherever you're watching this video. And now I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to learn more about this, if you want to get into a community of people who are interested about the mind, the psychology, NLP, hypnosis, psychotherapy, coaching, and all of these, join my school community. There's a link below which you can click on, and you can join our school community. It's a growing community of people like you interested in these topics, and we're there to share with each other, to learn from each other, and to grow together. So come on, click on that link below, join the community on school, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there.